Hi, I'm going to show you a new way that I found to wrap my body braid to give my body more support for walking and working out. So I have hypermobility with Ehlers Danlos syndrome. I also have SIBO, MCAS, Neuropathy, just to name a few. So those are the big ones. So let's get started. So start with the core. And oops, put it on how you typically do. Now for this, I do have the long leg straps attached. So start by getting that nice and tight, and then do the typical cross in the front. Now me, I like hip support. I like the extra hip support. I need it. So I do a cross brace, which is what I think they call it, right here. And I do it on both hips. Next, I'm going to sit down for this. I start with the how they do in the typical video where you start wrapping around, but me, again, I like more support, so I wrap twice around my thigh, and then my next wrap is going to go around my calf muscle and down to the arch of the foot and out. This is how I know if I'm doing it right or not, because it goes to the inside of the foot. I have done it on the outside accidentally. I do not like it. You may like it, but I do not like it. It makes my feet wonky, or my ankles, for walking. So I do mine on the inside. I also put a little X on my body braid on the inside to show, to remind myself where I'm going to do another cross brace at. Okay, so right there is my X. That way I can get this on a little bit faster when I'm dealing with a ton of pain. So I'm going to loop it through right there. And then this is where the easy part comes. Loop it through once, wrap, loop it through the next, loop up above it, and then come around for the brace behind the knee, which is the next loop up. So it's literally 3 loops right in a row. And then I'm going to let that little guy hang out there while I work on this guy. So wrap it around my booty. Again, I like extra support. So I am going to put this one. Did I do a star on this one? I did not. I think this one usually goes after the brace up there. Oops, no it does not. I can already tell because it bunched up there. So I put it here. So I love this extra stability right here. And then where my strap is connected, my long strap, pull it through there. Now me, I already know I like this on the 3rd Velcro strip. So grab this bad boy, pull it through, and then get it on that 3rd one. And then, as you know, we'll adjust that when we stand up. So now this side, wrap, wrap, and then I'm going to come around that calf, go on the inside, again, make sure where my star is, it's right there, or my little X. Loop that through, wrap, next loop up, pull that through, gonna go for the one behind the knee. Yeah, and don't forget to, protect your Velcro and fold it over. Mine is fraying at the edges because I don't always do it, especially when I'm in a lot of pain. I'm just desperate to get this thing on because it does take away about 80% of my pain and does help with my fatigue. So, okay, so my cross strap up here, behind the booty, underneath. Do my cross brace right there. And again, this one's going to go on 3, and this one, there we go, should go above that strap. I try to make sure it's the same on both sides. Oops. Get it through the little loop. This took me forever at first. This is such a steep learning curve. But once I figured it out, I now have it to where it doesn't take me very long to get it on, which is nice because those times I'm in severe pain, I need it on like yesterday. Okay, third one up. Pull that through. Now I'm going to stand up and I'm going to start adjusting. So I need rib support. My ribs, they do like to pop out, especially T2 and T10. And make sure, actually this feels really good. So I make sure it's up high on my butt. I have to have it high up on my butt. That's where it feels best. Here's my cross brace on my hips that I absolutely, absolutely love. And then, yeah, I have total support. I use this for walking, for working out. I can do so much now, and I just adjust for the exercise. So sometimes I may need this down here, and I adjust like that. Sometimes I need the back side down further for low back support. I'll put it there. Sometimes I need the low back, but my ribs need supported. So it just depends on what exercise I'm doing as to where I need these straps to go. A lot of times I do this one where I flip the black down. And if you can show or comment any kinds of tips and tricks you have, I have a hard time keeping these up. I do have a smaller frame up top. So these do tend to slide down, or one always feels really uneven. Also, when walking, doing exercises, right here tends to slip a lot. The thighs or the hips slip a lot too. So I've been trying to work with the small leg extension to see if I could anchor this up here, and that caused extreme back pain, so I stopped doing that. But if you have any tips and tricks that work for you so that right here doesn't slide and this doesn't slide, I would be eternally grateful, because I feel like I spend half the time walking, pulling this up, adjusting. So there you have it. I hope it helps.